Now, back to the program.
All right, we're back. Let's go over here and talk with Robin. Hello, Robin from Orlando, Florida, listening on XM Satellite Radio. Hi.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
Very well
I missed
today.
you when you were up at Northland. I've seen you a few times when you were here in the Orlando area.
Well, I'm sorry that I missed you.
My question is, I too have ADD, and I was advised by the people at the office to call when you and Sherry were there because she might have some brain chemistry expertise as well. Background, I have ADD, never diagnosed, although now I can look back and see it crystal clear.
Never diagnosed, but you say you had it, so who diagnosed it?
I guess self-diagnosed. I work for a family doctor, and
so you've not been diagnosed by a psychiatrist. Is that right?
No, that's.
But you know what's weird? You're not.
I would say it's still never diagnosed.
Okay. Robin, it's not uncommon for women, young girls, to kind of fly under the radar with it because oftentimes they don't have the hyperactivity component, right? It's ADD rather than ADHD, but continue.
All right, well, let's just ask.
What is her question?
Yeah.
Well, I seem to have an anxiety component with it. I have a very high IQ, so I think some of that masked the problems that I was having. But once I went towards the menopause direction and lost my estrogen, then it really reared its ugly head. I've since had my estrogen increased, and I've tried Adderall and Strattera and some of the others, and really have dry mouth, and I kind of feel like I'm driving 80 miles an hour down the highway. Well,
Robin,
still, it's just
Why?
Yes.
Why haven't you gone to a psychiatrist?
Money's part of it, but I've tried.
Well, you're getting drugs from some. You're getting drugs from some doctor, right?
Family doctor.
Well,
but I mean, when I take it, I feel it helps, but I mean, I just feel like I'm flying.
But Robin, Henry's trying to invite you to take a look at something because he asked a really good question. As it hasn't been diagnosed, because sometimes we'll diagnose ourselves and then we'll go to our family doctor and say, "This is what I think I need."
And you might know more than the family doctor about that particular thing. As a lot of people do. Robin, you know what drives me crazy? The internet.
What?
The internet.
The internet. I talk to more people who. They Google this or Google that, and they say, I have this or I have that or I have that, because they breed some list of symptoms. And you've got to go to a doctor.
A psychiatrist. Somebody who
specializes in this, because the nuances of those medications are just so complicated. And you want to be talking to somebody who sees thousands of people and understands patterns and understands the chemistry in the brain and all of that. And people can't self-diagnose off of Google.
And the other thing is that quite typically you don't hear people that are taking ADHD medication say it caused me to fly off the, it actually has the exact opposite effect if it's really ADHD. You could have anything from ADD, ADHD to Asperger's.
You could have an agitated depression.
Yeah.
There could be a million things.
Yeah, there's
wrong.
different parts of the brain. Like anxiety typically comes from the basal ganglia. They're the gas pedals of the brain. The ADD is the prefrontal cortex, not enough blood flow.
But then you have some anxiety that comes from the thinking and overthinking and stuff that can actually
gyrus.
Go on in the prefrontal.
That's the cingulate gyrus area. So it is complex. It is complex. Our brain is really layered, and then you add menopause into that. And having looked at SPECT scans,
when I went through menopause, it helped me more than any. I'm kidding.
So,
Robin, did we get to your question?
I guess. I mean, and I'm well read about this from medical publications, and I mean,
all right, do this. Let's take another minute.
What's the question, though?
Wait, let's take one other second. Why do you think you have ADHD?
Because of focus issues, because of impulse control.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? How do you know? Because it's not the lack of internalized structure from external discipline and relationships in your life.
It certainly wasn't modeled for me. I don't know. So you guys think I should come up with some money somehow and
go to a county agency and see a psychiatrist?
Yeah.
Just think of how much money you've wasted, or how much of your life has been wasted, or anxiety, or think of how hard you run because you don't know. I mean, to meet with a psychiatrist and invest whatever, $300 will be worth your weight in gold to have somebody help you know what's going on with your brain. Because the brain can change. You just need the right person at the helm.
Yep. I'm glad that you called us. And, we're on Facebook and Twitter, and somebody Twittered or Facebooked, how do you go about getting yeah, I think so. How do you go about getting a diagnosis for adult ADD or adult ADHD? Everything from going to a psychiatrist to going to a special clinic. You work at a special clinic, or you did work at a special clinic because you became so successful. Oh, you still work there, all right? Yeah. And so there are a lot of things that you can do to get that diagnosis, other than looking at a checklist and saying, "Oh,
may I say something
before I?" Okay.
Henry's over here like in a hot sweat. You look like you're going through menopause right now.
I've seen people suffer for so long needlessly. How do you get a diagnosis? A diagnosis comes from a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to a doctor. Now, if you want an opinion, or you want a thought, or you want, do a research report, or, and I know
but she
that
went to a doctor.
She went to it sounds like she talked to the family doctor that she works with.
Could be.
She works for him.
And family doctors are really nice people, and they really do want to meet your need.
Right.
And when you convince them that you got this need, a lot of them are going to say, okay, well.
Yeah, and we don't know him, and family doctors treat all sorts of things because
they're amazing. There are lots of complex issues, but the brain is complex in itself.
Right.
It's a whole nother universe.
But a lot of times they will treat things, and if it's not getting better, then they'll say, okay, well, why don't you go see a psychiatrist because what we've tried here isn't working, et cetera, et cetera. Now, on the other side, because I'm going to get the angry emails, patients must be responsible for their own health care as well.
Yep.
And I'm all for reading up on everything and getting as knowledgeable as you can get, because you might go to some quack and you've read things on WebMD and other places that that guy's out to lunch. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be educated and take responsibility for your own health care. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you can't be the patient and the doctor at the same time.
Yep. All right. I am really glad that you called, and let me send you Walking into Walls. I think you'll like it.